The alien coalition, a formidable assembly of species united by necessity, hovers on the fringes of Earth's atmosphere. They are driven by desperation, their home worlds rendered uninhabitable by cosmic catastrophe. The coalition has roamed the galaxy, seeking a new home, but every habitable planet they encounter is either occupied or unsuited for their needs. Earth, a world notorious for its unpredictable environments and resilient native species, is deemed a Deathworld by many. But the coalition sees it as their last hope. They decide to invade, confident that their advanced technology and superior numbers will overcome any challenges this dangerous world presents. Their strategy is straightforward: land in what they identify as the most civilized regions, establish footholds in densely populated areas, and quickly overwhelm local defenses. They believe that by seizing control of Earth's major cities, they can force the planet's inhabitants into submission. They approach with precision, their fleet descending upon Earth's continents with the force of a storm. The first waves land in Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa, unleashing a blitzkrieg of advanced weaponry and overwhelming firepower. The coalition is initially met with scattered resistance. Earth's defenses, while determined, appear disorganized and underprepared. Human forces fight valiantly but lack the technological sophistication to repel the invaders. Within days, major cities fall, and the aliens move swiftly to secure their control. They observe humanity's attempts to regroup, but to them, these efforts seem feeble. From their vantage point, Earth is a chaotic planet of divided nations, each struggling to mount a coherent defense. They mistake this lack of coordination for weakness. The alien commanders, confident in their early successes, begin to analyze their next target, North America. Based on their intelligence, they assume it will be like the other continents, a series of urban centers surrounded by vast, underdefended lands. They anticipate a similar outcome, a quick and decisive campaign that will end with another swath of territory under their control. They prepare their forces, certain that North America will be just another mark on their map, another conquest in their path to a new home. Their fleets move into position, descending toward the coasts with the same precision they used in their earlier assaults. Their ships cut through the atmosphere, casting shadows over the cities below. The alien soldiers prepare for the familiar scene, the shock and awe of the chaos, the rapid capitulation. They have seen it all before, and they expect nothing different. But as they begin their descent, something feels off. The air is thick with tension, a sense of anticipation that wasn't there in their previous conquests. Their sensors pick up unusual energy signatures, signals they don't quite understand. The skies above North America seem strangely alive, as if the very atmosphere is watching, waiting. Their landing crafts touch down, and for a moment, all is quiet. Too quiet. The alien commanders, seasoned veterans of countless battles, feel an unfamiliar sensation creeping up their spines, unease. They brace themselves for the initial skirmishes, expecting scattered resistance, a disorganized response. But instead, they are met with silence, a silence that stretches on too long. The ground beneath them feels different, almost as if it is bracing for something, and the air carries a charge that makes their skin prickle. The soldiers look at each other, sensing the same strange energy. Then, without warning, the first strike comes, not from a visible enemy, but from the environment itself. Electronic systems begin to flicker, communications are disrupted by electromagnetic pulses, and their navigation equipment goes haywire. The alien commanders scramble to regain control, barking orders in their native tongues, trying to understand what is happening. For the first time, they realize that this is not like their previous conquests. North America is not reacting the way the other continents did. They expected another easy victory, but now they can feel the shift. There is something different about this place, something they didn't account for in their calculations. A sensation lingers in the air, a sense that they have crossed a line into unknown territory. As they look out over the terrain, they begin to understand that they have not just landed on another part of Earth. They have stepped into a battlefield where the rules are about to change. For decades, America's leaders anticipated that Earth would one day face a threat from beyond the stars. Quietly, without fanfare, they initiated a covert operation to prepare for this very moment, a government project buried deep within the shadows of the Pentagon and known only to a select few. Project Liberty. It was conceived as a safeguard, a last line of defense against an enemy the world had never seen. The project evolved over time, drawing from the brightest minds and the most secretive labs, building an arsenal for a war that had not yet come. Until now, America had no intention of being caught off guard. Project Liberty's core strategy centered around the development of advanced technologies that could level the playing field against any extraterrestrial foe. The first breakthrough was in electromagnetic pulse, EMP, weapons, devices capable of knocking out entire networks of alien technology in an instant. These weapons were carefully placed in key locations, ready to be deployed at a moment's notice, creating zones where no alien ship could safely fly or communicate. Alongside EMPs, America invested heavily in cyber warfare capabilities. Top-tier hackers and AI systems had been quietly trained and developed to breach and dismantle any foreign digital infrastructure. As the alien ships landed, these cyber units went to work, slipping through firewalls, implanting viruses, and sending malicious codes that turned the invaders' technology against them. Drones malfunctioned, targeting systems failed, and entire databases were wiped clean. The aliens found their technological superiority neutralized, their systems thrown into chaos by invisible hands. But that was just the beginning. Project Liberty had also perfected the art of invisibility. Adaptive camouflage suits, equipped with nanomaterials that could blend seamlessly into any environment, were distributed to elite units. These soldiers could vanish into their surroundings, becoming ghosts in the landscape. Reconnaissance teams moved undetected, ambushing alien patrols, sowing confusion, and disappearing without a trace. The invaders were left to fight shadows, never knowing where the next attack would come from. At the heart of this defense was the creation of super soldiers. Handpicked from the ranks of special forces, these individuals underwent years of grueling training in the harshest conditions Earth had to offer. They were molded into living weapons, highly adaptable, skilled in unconventional warfare, and equipped with cutting-edge gear that enhanced their speed, strength, and endurance. They were America's secret weapon, and now they were ready to be unleashed. As the alien forces attempted to advance deeper into American territory, they quickly realized that they were not facing an ordinary enemy. Overnight, entire cities and towns transformed. Streets became fortresses, buildings turned into sniper nests, and rooftops bristled with hidden weapons. Citizens, once ordinary people, morphed into highly trained militia. Farmers wielded laser-guided rifles, shopkeepers manned anti-aircraft cannons, children acted as scouts, relaying information through secure communication lines. Every town, every village, every stretch of road was prepared to fight. The landscape itself became a weapon. Bridges were rigged to collapse under the weight of alien tanks, forests were laced with mines and hidden traps, and rivers were poisoned with compounds that corroded alien armor. Drones disguised as birds swarmed overhead, surveilling enemy movements and relaying real-time data to command centers. Mountains concealed artillery batteries, and deserts hid bunkers stocked with enough supplies to hold out for years. The land seemed to shift and change, always ready to turn against the intruders. When the aliens attempted their first major offensive, they were met with an onslaught of defense systems they had not anticipated. EMP bursts knocked their communications offline, leaving their troops isolated and blind. Cyber attacks spread like wildfire, crippling their ships' navigational systems and rendering their drones useless. Camouflaged soldiers emerged from the shadows, striking quickly and then fading back into the environment, leaving nothing but confusion and casualties in their wake. The alien commanders were baffled. They had expected a straightforward conquest, not this. They struggled to adapt to an enemy that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere at once. Their tactical manuals were useless, their strategies ineffective. The land they had thought they could easily conquer was now a maze of traps and deception. The more they pushed, the more resistance they met, until it became clear America had been preparing for them all along. Panic began to spread through the alien ranks as their forces were repelled time and again. Their superior technology offered no advantage. Their numbers dwindled as their soldiers were picked off in ambushes. They had anticipated a quick victory, but instead found themselves in a war where every step was uncertain, every move countered. For the first time, they began to feel the icy grip of fear. The realization sank in that they were not just facing a difficult battle, they were fighting a nightmare they had never imagined. The shock was palpable. The invaders, once so confident in their superiority, were now questioning their chances of survival. As they stumbled through the strange new battlefield, they began to grasp the grim reality. They had underestimated America, and now they were paying the price. They had come to Earth believing it was a death world, but only now did they truly understand why. The alien forces marched forward with confidence, expecting to crush any resistance in their path. But the moment they engage American defenses, everything spirals into chaos. As they advance, an unexpected electromagnetic pulse sweeps through their ranks, frying circuits and disabling communication equipment. Their high-tech weapons go dark, and their vehicles grind to a halt. Command centers flicker with distorted images, their displays reduced to static. Panic sets in as officers frantically attempt to restore order, but every effort is met with failure. Their technological edge, the very advantage they relied upon, has been nullified in an instant. Confusion ripples through the alien ranks as the first wave of ground troops, now disoriented and vulnerable, is hit by a flurry of ambushes. Militia units, emerging from hidden tunnels and concealed positions, strike with precision and disappear just as quickly. They use guerrilla tactics, exploiting every feature of the landscape, the forests, the hills, the city streets. The alien troops, trained for conventional warfare, find themselves in a battle they do not understand. They fire at shadows, their shots echoing uselessly through empty spaces. The Americans are ghosts, appearing out of nowhere, striking hard, and then vanishing into the terrain. The aliens attempt to regroup, but each movement is met with another surprise. Bridges collapse under their weight, roads suddenly give way to hidden sinkholes, and abandoned buildings explode with mines. Drones sent to scout are hacked mid-flight, redirected to attack their own units. Every step forward feels like a trap. Commanders shout orders, trying to regain control, but their voices are lost in the chaos. The alien soldiers, once so disciplined, begin to falter. They were prepared for battle, but not for this relentless assault from all sides. As the skirmishes continue, the aliens struggle to comprehend the tactics being used against them. They are accustomed to structured warfare, front lines, flanking maneuvers, predictable patterns. But here, there are no patterns, no fronts. They face an enemy that fights without rules, using the terrain, the environment, and even their own minds against them. Psychological warfare takes its toll. Loudspeakers, hidden in the trees, blare out dissonant sounds and taunting messages in their language. Misdirected signals flood their communication channels, spreading false orders and misinformation. They begin to doubt their senses, unsure if what they see is real or another illusion. The alien soldiers grow frustrated, their morale sinking with each failed attempt to push forward. They start to see threats where there are none, wasting ammunition and energy on ghosts. Sleep becomes elusive as they are bombarded with sudden bursts of light and noise in the middle of the night. Their food supplies are sabotaged, water sources contaminated with chemicals that induce hallucinations. The once cohesive units begin to fragment, fear and paranoia spreading like a virus. They start to question their leaders, their mission, and even their own minds. Frustration mounts within the alien command. Reports of unexpected resistance pour in, each one more baffling than the last. They cannot pinpoint the source of their problems. Every plan they make seems to unravel the moment it is set into motion. Their forces, scattered and disoriented, are no longer acting as a unified whole. For the first time, the invaders experience something alien to them: doubt. They realize they are not just fighting soldiers but an entire population, each citizen a potential combatant, each environment a potential weapon. Fear begins to grip the alien ranks. They see their comrades fall to invisible foes, hear the whispered taunts that echo through the night, feel the unrelenting pressure of an enemy they cannot see. They are no longer the hunters, they have become the hunted. Their advanced technology offers no comfort, their superior numbers no advantage. They are in the heart of an unfamiliar battlefield, surrounded by an enemy that knows the terrain, understands their weaknesses, and exploits them mercilessly. The alien command, once assured of their superiority, now realizes that they are in a fight unlike any other. The chaos and confusion have shattered their initial confidence. They order an immediate regroup and reassessment, pulling back their forces to safer positions, recognizing that they cannot continue with their current approach. They acknowledge that they are facing a new kind of warfare, one they have never trained for, against an enemy that refuses to play by their rules. The battle has only just begun, and already they know they have underestimated their foe. America is proving to be a far more formidable adversary than they could have ever imagined. The alien coalition, realizing their initial tactics are failing, shifts to a new strategy. They deploy special units, elite warriors trained in counter-guerrilla warfare, equipped with the latest in adaptive armor and weaponry designed to neutralize stealth and subterfuge. Advanced reconnaissance drones are sent out in swarms, fitted with sensors to detect even the slightest human movement, while their ground troops move in tighter formations, attempting to flush out hidden enemies with overwhelming force. But America is ready for this escalation. The defenses intensify. Project Liberty deploys its most advanced technologies and elite forces. Swarms of small, agile drones buzz into the air, cloaked by adaptive camouflage, confusing the enemy sensors. Stealth fighters, invisible to alien radars, circle overhead, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Underground fortresses come alive, their entrances concealed, providing secure bases from which special forces launch unexpected attacks. Each move by the aliens is met with a counter that seems almost premeditated. The first battle of this new phase begins in the dense forests of Appalachia. The alien elite units, moving in precise formations, advance cautiously, their sensors sweeping for hidden threats. Suddenly, a barrage of EMP bursts from hidden devices scrambles their electronics, leaving them momentarily blinded. Within seconds, American super soldiers emerge from concealed positions, striking with a speed and ferocity that catches the invaders off guard. The aliens regroup quickly, relying on their advanced armor to withstand the initial attack, but the terrain itself seems to conspire against them. Trees collapse onto their paths, and the ground opens up with hidden mines, causing chaos within their ranks. In another key battle near the Rockies, the aliens attempt to use their superior firepower to breach a fortified human position. As they advance, they encounter an unexpected resistance, tunnels dug deep into the mountains, allowing American forces to move unseen and strike from unexpected angles. Alien tanks are lured into narrow passes, where they are bombarded from above by drones and artillery. Their attempts to establish a foothold crumble as their troops are ambushed from all sides, the landscape itself turning into a weapon against them. Time and again, the aliens come close to breakthroughs. They push forward, their special units using thermal scanners to detect hidden foes, their advanced weapons blasting through human defenses. Yet, just as they seem to be gaining ground, they are met with new layers of resistance. American forces appear to anticipate their every move, using decoys, traps, and diversions to lead them into kill zones. Underground bunkers transform into launch points for counterattacks, and fields are flooded with infrared obscuring smoke, blinding the aliens' sensors. The alien commanders grow frustrated. They see their carefully crafted plans unraveling before their eyes. They are fighting not just against human soldiers, but against the very environment itself. They attempt to shift tactics again, focusing on heavy bombardment to flush out their hidden enemies. But every strike seems to hit only empty buildings or decoys. Every effort to gain a solid foothold meets a flexible and adaptive defense that quickly shifts, leaving them in the dust. The psychological toll begins to weigh heavily on the alien forces. They face constant ambushes, their supply lines cut off, their communications jammed. Whispers of defeat and demoralization spread through their ranks. They are running low on resources, their energy reserves dwindling, and their troops growing increasingly desperate. Commanders argue over the next course of action, their once unified front beginning to crack. Each day, their situation grows more dire. Their attempts to adapt have only brought more intense and unpredictable resistance. The Americans fight with a tenacity and ingenuity that they had not anticipated. Every move the aliens make is countered by a response that seems almost prophetic. The invaders realize they are no longer just trying to conquer, they are now struggling to survive. The realization sets in, their campaign is faltering. They had underestimated their enemy, believing them to be primitive and disorganized. Now they see that they are facing an adversary that adapts and evolves with each encounter, one that turns every disadvantage into an opportunity. The alien forces, once so confident, now find themselves questioning the very logic of their invasion. As their numbers dwindle and their morale breaks, they understand that they are in a battle not just for conquest, but for survival itself. The alien coalition, their resources dwindling and morale shattered, decides to make one final, desperate push to crush American resistance. They gather their remaining forces, deploying their most advanced and dangerous weapons, plasma cannons capable of vaporizing entire city blocks, bioengineered war beasts designed to wreak havoc, and massive dreadnought ships armed to the teeth. They are determined to end this conflict once and for all, even if it means scorched earth and total devastation. As they advance, the air thickens with tension. American forces brace for the onslaught, aware that this is the decisive moment. Every military unit, every civilian militia, and every technological asset is mobilized. The sky is alive with swarms of drones, cloaked in invisibility, buzzing in formation. Ground forces spread out, taking up positions in fortified zones, while hidden artillery waits for the signal to unleash a torrent of firepower. This time, America is not just defending, it is ready to strike back with full force. The battle erupts with a fury unmatched in the previous skirmishes. Alien dreadnoughts unleash a barrage of plasma, tearing through the air with blinding light. Yet, even as the blasts rain down, American forces respond with calculated precision. EMP pulses ripple across the battlefield, shorting out alien weaponry. Camouflaged units move swiftly through the chaos, launching surprise attacks on vulnerable targets. Artillery shells arc overhead, striking with pinpoint accuracy, creating controlled detonations that confuse and disorient the enemy. On the ground, alien war beasts charge forward, but they are met by an unexpected alliance of America's factions. Former rivals, federal troops, state militias, civilian volunteers, now fight side by side, displaying a level of coordination that stuns the enemy. Farmers wield heavy weapons alongside seasoned soldiers, while engineers hack into alien tech to turn their own machines against them. Entire communities, once divided, have united with a singular purpose: to repel the invaders at any cost. Their cohesion and determination catch the aliens off guard, creating a wave of resistance that seems impossible to break. Key moments unfold in rapid succession. A fleet of alien ships attempts a flanking maneuver, only to be intercepted by stealth fighters that were lying in wait, cloaked from detection. Urban areas, thought to be abandoned, spring to life with resistance fighters using tunnels and rooftops to strike at the enemy from every angle. The aliens push forward, but every inch they gain is met with fierce resistance, every advance countered with a strategy that seems designed specifically for them. They begin to see a pattern, a realization dawning too late. America has been preparing for this all along. As the battle reaches its peak, a coordinated cyber attack strikes the heart of the alien command structure. Hackers, hidden in fortified bunkers deep underground, unleash a virus that spreads through the alien networks like wildfire. Communication between ships goes dark, targeting systems fail, and their navigational data becomes scrambled. The alien commanders, once confident in their technological superiority, find themselves cut off and blind. Their forces, now leaderless, fall into disarray. Panic spreads as they realize they can no longer coordinate their attacks or retreat in an organized fashion. Chaos engulfs the alien ranks. Troops are left stranded without orders, war beasts turn on their handlers, and entire ships lose power, drifting helplessly above the battlefield. The coordinated attack has turned their mightiest weapons into liabilities. The once formidable alien fleet, now fractured and confused, faces a relentless American counteroffensive. Seizing the moment, American forces push forward, taking down enemy positions with surgical strikes, exploiting every gap in their defenses. The alien coalition, recognizing that they are on the brink of total defeat, makes the call to retreat. Their invasion, which began with such confidence and superiority, has turned into a catastrophic failure. Ships break away from the fight, damaged and burning, limping back to the stars. Ground forces abandon their positions, leaving behind equipment and wounded. The battlefield, once filled with the sounds of battle, quiets as the last of the alien forces flee. The aftermath is a testament to resilience and defiance. America stands victorious, not just as a nation but as a symbol of humanity's indomitable spirit. What was once thought to be Earth's most vulnerable continent has proven to be the ultimate Deathworld nightmare, a place where every citizen fights, where every inch of ground resists, and where every plan of invasion is met with unforeseen challenges. The aliens leave, battered and broken, understanding that they have faced not just a human resistance but the very essence of human unpredictability. Place on a map but a force that turns every invader's dream into a waking nightmare.